Well, here you are, ladies and gentlemen. This men's 3,000 meters promises to be special. We've already seen some fantastic 2,000 meter races around the world over the past 24 hours. Of course, the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix will take place over in Boston this evening as well. And these men will be competing, many of them at the World Indoor Championships, if not the European Indoor Championships. Here's Kiprugat. Boris Kiprugat, one of the few to have a lightning quick 1:44.800. He has struggled to transition that into the 3,000 and the 1,500. But third at the African Champs. George Mills didn't. What a year he had in 2024. Second at the European Championships over the 5,000 behind Jakob Ingebrigtsen. A truly phenomenal athlete is Mills, and he's only getting better. Well, Thorworthen, the German, out he comes, 7:38 lifetime best. It's inside that European qualifying standard of 7:43, so he's been there, done that. Baltus, the Dutchman, having a very good indoor campaign so far. National record holder in the mile as well, 3:54 indoors. Surprisingly enough, for someone like Mills, this is a debut as the rest of them enter the arena. He is certainly one of the high-profile athletes in this race. Bastian Augusto, he will have the home crowd on his side. 60:18 in the half marathon. That was in Valencia pre the turn of the new year. Charles Wheeler, 7:47 indoor PB. The Brit, he'll have that qualification mark of 7:43 fixated in his mind on the way round. Ignacio Fontes, Dublin Track Club now, training with that Irish group and set up. 3:34 performer over 1,500. Formerly a 1,500 meter man, stepping up, you could say. And Mark Leroy, you would only suggest he may well be pacing. Raja as well, 7:53. No slouch over the 3,000. He'll just have to settle in and find his rhythm. Oh, Damani. Frenchman getting a great reception as he too enters the arena here in this Jesse Owens Stadium. So the last distance race of the evening. And that world lead, by the way, 7:39. It's something which could go. Meet record 2013. Goes back 12 years. Paul Katsili-Koech, 7:38. And a phenomenal steeplechaser was Koech. A world record. Metric Gamma, 7:23. Men's 3,000. 15 laps of the track. Bastian Augusto. French hopes in this one, 13:16, 5,000 meter performer. So away they go. Things will settle down quite quickly, I can only imagine. These athletes will want to find themselves on the rail, single file. It is a season opener for many. This is getting their indoor campaign underway, so they might not be as sharp as they'd like to be in sort of 2 or 3 weeks' time, but it will be one of the few chances they'll get to attack those qualifying marks for the World Indoors and the European Indoors as well. It looks like George Mills settles right in behind the two paces. Kiprugat, as I mentioned, a great Aino Jamira, 1:45 for his lifetime best. 6th over the 1,500. Time will tell if he is a pacemaker. Well, they've got two pacers, or he is in this to win. So 3 men breaking away already. To be honest with you, and Federico Riva is a man to watch out for too. 3:32, 1,500 meter runner. That's his lifetime best. Semi-finalist at the Olympic Games in that discipline. He's certainly someone that you look at and he can contest. He was 11th at those World Indoor Championships last year over 3,000. Can contest to the pointy end of this race. So we've got a race of two halves at the moment, and it's Fontes who is leading that second group. Probably not where he wants to be. He's going to want Kipsang to come around him. who were surprising out 7:40 by the way in Luxembourg. So here we are. They are operating right around, 7:33, 7:34 tempo. Too flat, just over through the 800 meter mark. That is lightning fast. Of course, we'll get a better indication on their first K. This will be quite easy running for some of the likes of Mills and of course Riva. They have been here before. You know, they've got 1,500 meter times in the low 330s. So 60s is never comfortable for these men, but it is doable. And boy, for them to get down on 7:30 would be something. That 7:31, by the way, is the world indoor qualifying mark, and they may well have that fixated in their minds too. 2:31 at the 1,000. That's great pacing. Kipsang's kind of stuck in no man's land. He's trying to bridge that gap. If he's patient enough, and he's got those white lights to run with, actually. If he's patient enough, he could come on to that top group of 4. Worth keeping an eye a little bit further down as well. Bastien Augusto, as I mentioned, 60:18 over the half marathon. That didn't translate to the cross country though. 30th of those European cross champs. But he's a fine 5,000 meter man. 13:16 last summer. So we're through the first kilometre in this men's 3,000. It is still at the moment. We're going to see Kiprugut lead out George Mills. And Mills is someone, he's broken 13 minutes over the 5,000. Like I said, went toe-to-toe with Jakob Ingebrigtsen in Rome. The Olympics may not have quite gone his way. Yeah, a lot of attention on him as well, but he would have learned from that. And it's a new Olympic cycle. And I guess he could say he was relevant. Did he come out too hot in 2024? Did he perform almost too well in the early part of the season? You kind of have to these days with the qualifying marks so hard for the major championships, for those global championships. You kind of have to have 2 peaks in a season, whereas really you could almost just have one and bubble your way up to a championships and kind of nab a qualifying mark en route, whereas now you need to be on your A game, even for an athlete like Mills, who continues to look impressive. He's clipping off 30 points lap after lap. These guys were just outside a 4-minute mile as they went through the halfway mark or just under. So I believe Boas Kiprugut, the way that he's looking, is just doing all he can to pace Mills round. Stick with him for as long as possible in this men's 3,000. It looks like Federico Riva. So Kiprugut's going to peel off. It's going to be Mills. He'll be used to training on his own, so he'll be used to running out front on his own as well. Threshold after threshold after threshold has been his story the last few years, and boy, has it paid off. He is truly dedicated to this sport, just like a few of these men. And he continues to wind up his effort only to maintain his pace. You could argue he'll have those lights to hold on. Would be a very, very impressive run if we saw him get down to 5:03 at the 2,000 meter mark. Another 2:31 kilometer. Now, this is the time. The race is going to go 2 ways. Is it going to slip or is he going to push on? And he looks like he's really turning the screw here, pushing on. We'll have to check the record book. You hardly think that he's going to be challenging for the likes of a national record just this early on in January, but he's rewriting the script, is Mills. 800 meter to go. Riva's doing a fine job, by the way, hanging on. And that pack behind is still running very fast. They're still running inside European qualifying mark standard, because he's going to be very, very close to 7:30 is George Mills of Great Britain. That meet record of 7:38 is all but gone at this stage as we come into the latter stages of this men's 3,000. And the world leader, 7:39. That too is going to go. And he talks a game, does Mills. He knows how good he is. He's assured, he's confident, and he's delivering on all fronts. He delivered on the early part of 2024. Perhaps many, including himself, would have expected more from him at the Olympic Games, but he would have learned. He's grown, and boy, has he wintered well. And the 3,000, it might be his sweet spot. When you look at what he can do over the 5,000 and his background from the 800 up to the 1,500 and now beyond, he's going to pile it on. George Mills, ladies and gentlemen, coming up to the bell lap. He's going to be challenging, threatening the bell lap outdoors, that is, for that 7:30 mark. And it would be something as he edges clear of these blue lights coming into the final 300. Keep an eye on the clock. 6:45 over on that far side. Well, if he can run a 7, 75 last. 45, sorry, last 300. He's going to be right on the money of 7:30, and that would be special. He's pouring on. This is what he does. He's announcing himself as one of the best in the world over this discipline. Many will be watching this race back thinking he is the man to beat alongside the likes of Jakob Ingebrigtsen come the World Indoor Championships. This is one of the most impressive races I've ever seen from this man. He's meant business from gun to tape, and he's going to make history here for himself and global history as well. George Mills, 7:27.9. Wow. While the others are strewn out on the track here, Mills is finished some way ahead. Riva there in second. Managed to hang on. It was brave, it was bold to even attempt to go with Mills. Wow, he's cooked up a storm in the beating heart of South Africa through these winter months. And that's the world lead from Mills, 7:27.9. Well, he's going to thank the Pacers. I think that's what he's doing. Some of his teammates out there as well. Baldus, the Dutchman, will have to wait and see those results to see where those men finished. At the moment, the only results. Bastien Augusto then. Well, he too was just outside the previous world lead, 7:39. Lifetime best for him. That's great running inside that European standard. How many men were inside that European standard? Let's have a look. Thorworth, 7:41. Boutis, 7:42. So he ticks it off as well. It's a new national record. That was out of the question early on. Oh, Charles Wheeler, 7:44, just outside the European standard, so he just missed it. But a fine run from him as a season opener. Fireworks. Absolute fireworks. There's no other way of putting it here in Val-de-Reuil. The Jesse Owens Stadium. Mills was Jesse Owens-esque over that final 200. He really was. Look at this. On your own, how difficult is it to squeeze like that? On your own, and just to lift and lift and lift every lap. Boy, that was impressive. Confused? I don't think so. He would have known he had that in him, and the way he trains, he gets a lot of KPIs throughout the season, and he'll know how he's matching up and faring compared to last year. 7:27.92, ladies and gentlemen, that is history. Bastien Augusto doing it for the French crowd here with 7:39.77.